Welcome to the Note to Self podcast. I'm your host, Zoe Ariel, an adventurous entrepreneur who loves to make the most out of life. I'm a certified professional life coach, digital course creator, verified YouTuber, and published author. On this podcast, you can expect actionable tips, reflections, and inspiration to live your best, most fulfilling life. So, let's get started. Hello, angels. Welcome back to Note to Self. Today's Note to Self is another wealth consciousness episode. And today I'm going to be talking about accepting financial learning curves. Because I think when we begin to open ourselves up to the journey of wealth consciousness, right, when we start to be more conscious about our relationship with money, how we feel about money, how we relate to money, we will naturally be shown lessons or patterns, and it can be easy to fall into a place of judging ourselves or making it mean things when we see patterns or we see perhaps perceived mistakes. There's no such thing as mistakes, but sometimes the ego likes to deem things as mistakes. When we're really deciding to look at things for the first time or in new ways, it can be easy to fall into that space of making what you're witnessing your relationship with money or your past with money mean about you. And I'm just going to be shining a light on that in today's episode because financial learning curves are a part of the journey. The financial journey, the wealth consciousness journey, it is a journey, right? There is no final destination. It's a way of life. It's a way of thinking, of being, and it's continuous. Just as change is the only constant on life on earth, so your relationship with money, there will always be things that present themselves. In my signature money program, Opulence, the visual that I like to guide people through is that the channel of financial abundance, that flow to you, I like to view it like a tunnel. And if we haven't looked inside of that tunnel before in our life, it can look super scary. It can look like maybe there's like bats. Maybe there's like all sorts of things on the side of it. Maybe it's looking dark. Maybe there's spider webs, all that stuff. And in Opulence, we go through and really clean out that tunnel to allow a new relationship with money, a new reality with money to be seen, right? Because once we clean out that tunnel, we have clarity, we have spaciousness, we have opened ourselves up to receive. And the work that comes after Opulence and what I found in my personal journey with wealth consciousness is that it's not like you look down that channel and it's scary and it's resistance filled. An action that's related to like if that channel looks scary and resistance filled is not wanting to look at your bank account because you're scared of what that balance is. Or not wanting to look at your bills because you're afraid. Or when you get a bill, you feel that reaction in your nervous system, that fight or flight type response. But once you look at that channel and really clean it up, the work that comes is just like, oh, there's a lesson coming down the tunnel. There's a lesson coming down my financial channel right now, and that's going to bring me to the next level. And that could look like a new investment you desire to make in yourself where you truly feel like it's a soul yes alignment, but you're like, I can't really see how I can make that work yet. It's making the leap and trusting yourself. Or it could be starting a new endeavor. I'll actually share a personal example. So in my company, Lead the Free, that I'm a partner with Kate, I've shared a little bit about this with you guys, and we also have a podcast where we're talking about more of our entrepreneurial journey. So if entrepreneurial type content inspires you, I'll leave our podcast down below. But in phase 1 of LTF, we had invested quite a bit of money and we actually lost some money. There's never any losses, but what I'm saying is that there were leakages. There were ways in which we were spending money that wasn't actually in the highest good or alignment. But those lessons needed to be learned. So for example, we were investing into different types of fabric, and we had someone who was a project manager of that who was spending on more fabric than we needed. And we had tailors who were sort of wasting fabric, if you will, right? Because we weren't actually getting what we had asked for, and then they needed to use more fabric, and there was some wastage happening. And so when Kate and I decided to close phase 1 and look back in time, we could really see like, okay, these are the ways in which financial support for this company was leaking, right? So we could have been down on ourselves about this. We could have made it mean all sorts of things, like we don't know what we're doing, being upset that we let money be wasted like that, or that we didn't consciously tune into, is this the right person? Is this the right tailor to work with? Is this how it's going, right? But we didn't. We actually just used it all as a learning opportunity. Again, there's no such thing as mistakes, but the mistake could be that you're not actually choosing to decide to learn from the past. Because after closing out phase 1, we just really saw this is easier said than done once you've cleaned up that tunnel that I'm speaking into. Once the tunnel is clean, you don't make money mean things about you like you perhaps may have done in the past, right? So Kate and I, we're very much into wealth consciousness. So there was not the space to make this mean anything about ourselves or get down on it or get stuck on it. We simply decided this is a great learning opportunity, right? This investment that we've made in ourselves, and then seeing where money leaked. And those lessons, right, that we learned through Lead the Free phase 1 actually have translated over into our personal businesses, where we've actually cleaned up any leakages that might have been present. So again, you will always be prompted with lessons along your journey of wealth consciousness. The journey with money does not have a destination. It's not like me and money are good now and that's how it is forever. It's like, yes, you and money can be good. I would say Zoe and money are really good. We're always consciously learning from each other. And once I decided to clean up that channel, it's like I can very clearly see, oh, this is the money lesson that's present for me right now. Or, oh, there's a money lesson that's being formulated right now. I don't make it mean anything about myself, but I'm consciously holding space until that next lesson is learned without placing judgment on myself or without making it mean different things about me. So wherever you find yourself in your journey with money, perhaps take a moment to imagine that visual that I shared about the tunnel. Is there fear when you look at your relationship with money? Is there resistance? Are you ready to liberate yourself? If you are ready to liberate yourself, I'd love to invite you into Opulence. So right now, Opulence has a special price because I'm going to be launching it again in January with additional content and modules. So you can actually get Opulence for its early bird rate that it was in the first round right now, because in January the price will naturally increase because there's going to be a lot more content going into that. So I'm going to leave Opulence down below if you do feel the call. And what I would encourage each and every one of you to do is just decide that the money struggle gets to end now. I had to get to this place in my journey. I mean, I feel like there was so many times where I was so triggered by money, but I didn't decide to actually do the work, like actually decide to really address this relationship with it. And I only wish I did sooner because it's not as scary as you think, you guys. And I know that it can be resistance filled because of the world we all grew up in and about how there's all this pressure on money, how working hard and all of that jazz, but it doesn't have to be that way. Speaking to you from the other side of the scary tunnel, right? On the other side of cleaning out that tunnel, it's beautiful, it's spacious, and the learning is always celebrated versus judged. So if you feel the call, I would love to have you inside Opulence, and wherever you find yourself, just know and remind yourself that it is a journey and you are exactly where you are meant to be. I love you, and I will talk to you very soon. Thanks for listening to Note to Self. If you enjoyed this episode, please help me out by rating and reviewing this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If my energy is resonating with you and you feel the call to work with me, there are an abundance of ways to do so. I offer one-to-one life coaching programs, mastermind containers, and DIY courses, all of which are available through my website, zoeariel.co. Until next time, take note of all the abundance that surrounds you as you make the most of this game called life.